heck did we get here? I really didn't imagine we'd be here, neither did Georg, I don't think. Now, given the prospects 20 years ago, and even when that horrible proposition passed, that amendment, we thought it'll be another 20 years. So it happened with the help of a lot of people, one of the biggest being you, so thank you. The other question I wonder, and I'm always asked about, is how did I get here? And as many times as I answered that question, I still never felt like I got the answer right. I think it's just so obvious. It's just the right thing to do, right? But of course I've challenged myself, and I've been challenged by others, that that's a really simplistic answer. There are lots of right causes, right? There are children starving in Africa. There are orphans in India. There are undocumented immigrants in Miami who are at risk of being deported. There are underpaid women everywhere. So how did this cause become mine? In my allotted time, I can't really answer all that, so you're not getting the answer today. Suffice it to say that it's been tugging at my heartstrings for decades. It's not a choice for me, it's an orientation, okay? It's just there. So I'm going to rattle through some lists really quick. The story begins with Terry Dewis being out in church of all places. If anyone knows me well, you know that I always say this, the most powerful thing you can do is be out. I wouldn't out you, but if you'll be out, you'll be making all the difference, right? He activated my activism and was patient and generous in his apprenticeship training. Along the way, I met and trained and learned from George Mersulli, Richard Milstein, Richard Sherman, Katie and Ruth, people that don't even need a second name, Cindy and Rosemary and Georg and Liz and countless others. Michael Bath, this is for you. As Dorothy would say, no, but it wasn't a dream, it was a place, and you, and you, and you, and you, and couldn't resist. I took a break from Save Date and got involved at our kids' school, where I was trained by the best fundraiser I know, Georgia No Play. Now there's an ally who inadvertently has helped our movement more than she even realizes. Georgia, please raise your hand. It's a phenomenal fundraiser. It's all about relationships. What a shock. By sharing her brilliance, she launched my efforts with the Task Force Miami Recognition Dinner. There I met Michael and Lisa. Lisa couldn't be here tonight because, of course, she's working on Winter Party, which is going to raise money for all those grants that we're going to be giving out to all these organizations, right? They are just the most incredibly dedicated and responsible people who are responsible for so much good on both the national and the local landscapes. If you've ever received a grant from the Miami Foundation through that fund we all know and love, really, first and foremost, you should be thanking Michael and Lisa. For me, the rewards have far outweighed my efforts. On this journey, we, my husband and I, have formed lifelong friendships, restored our belief in the goodness of others at a time when we had lost that faith. Some of you know my history well enough to know what this really means. Richard, when he talks about brave, that's what he's really talking about. And we've been blessed to be a part of something that is so very meaningful. I thank you for giving us the opportunity to share in your lives, the opportunity to help make history, to see justice born, and to nurture it to adolescence. We get to watch as Save and Aqua continue to create a safer society for our transgender friends. We get to look forward to seeing where this younger generation takes us. In the end, for me, choosing to stand up for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender equity has been more than just one cause. It is inextricably woven with reproductive freedom, sex positivity, racial and economic justice, immigration equality, and so much more. We are not a one-dimensional population characterized solely by the object of our affections. We are an incredibly warm and loving, compassionate, and giving group of people, all of us courageous in our willingness to confront our common enemies of progress. It turns out we all, every single one of us, are allies with a long, long history of advocacy. When men stand up for breast cancer and reproductive justice, when women care for our HIV-positive friends, when we march for our transgender sisters and our Black brothers and mentor our queer youth, we all are allies. We all can take pride in our collective humanity, in opening our hearts and our wallets to make this a better world for one another. And there is no partner I would rather do this with than my most beloved ally and best friend, Seth Gudinski.